We've come here to Brands Hatch today for the first race of the Touring Car 2000 season, and we're going to take you behind the scenes with a driver who's literally head and shoulders above the rest. Hi, Matt.
All right, Lofty, what's the weather like up there?
Tear shit up.
Apparently what they've done with these is they've given away 1,000 tickets or something to the local residents.
Yeah.
To say, come to Brands Hatch. Because you know, they're trying to get the Grand Prix, well, they've got the Grand Prix here.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get all the planning permission and everything. So they said, come and see what a Formula One car sounds like. I don't know, it's the worst possible thing they could have ever done.
So you've just had some lunch, you're eating what the team are eating. You've not gone for a high carbohydrate racing driver's lunch.
Not really. Sometimes we'll eat it the race day, we'll have some pasta or something like that, but I'll just eat lightly. I'm not too fussed. I won't eat anything heavy like red meat or anything like that.
A quick cup of coffee then before you go out?
Yeah, I've got to go now, I'm afraid, because I've got to sign on and then I've got to get my overalls on and I've got about 15 minutes before I'm out.
Tear shit up.
Heaviest again, I'm afraid. So you'll see they're all individually numbered. These are actually going into sets. We're allowed 28 tyres for the race weekend. That's for testing on the Friday, qualifying and the race on the Sunday. So depends how conservative we are today on how many tyres we've got left, new tyres left for qualifying and the race. So it's everyone's tyre strategy is really, really secret, and we're not going to tell anyone else for that's for sure.
Quick spin, what's going on?
Well, we had to, because we're not allowed tyre warmers anymore, we go out and do an initial lap to warm the rear tyres up on the front, because it's the driven axle, it heats the front tyres up very quickly. Then we swap them onto the back. So we got warm tyres all around. Then we quickly bedded some brakes in, did 2 sort of data collecting laps, and we've now come in to study the data. We got a slight problem with the ratios in the gearbox, which we're just having a look at the moment on the computers.
So Matt, you can't do much better than that then. P1 at the final stages of testing.
I know. It can't get much better. I'm sure they'll all pull something out the bag with the last 30 minutes to go, but with conserving the tyres, it's looking pretty good. We've got one more thing to try out. We want to simulate a one-lap shootout. So you go out on totally cold tyres and then you basically gun it. But Brand's Grand Prix circuit is very different to the Indy circuit. The Indy circuit, you can really drive to the max all the way around, but the Grand Prix circuit is certainly one for the fearless.
Now, tyres aren't something we generally consider to be important, but in touring cars, they are. Tyres, tell me about them.
Well, yeah, very important actually in the touring car racing these days. The cars themselves technically are so close together that adopting the right tyre strategy is critical, particularly this year, as there are only 28 tyres per car per event allowed. So we'd actually spend quite a lot of time, sadly, analysing the way in which we're going to approach the weekend, approaching the test, and how we'll develop through into qualifying and racing. In actual fact, you tend to have to work from racing backwards. You have ideas as to what you ultimately feel you should race, but you work backwards to then define what's available to test, as it were.
Tear shit up.
So, plans for the next couple of minutes? You got to go and sign on?
Yeah, I think I've got about 5 minutes, so I'll be last as usual because that's my big superstitious thing. It's a real good omen for me if I go and I'm last or really close to being last, because I am very superstitious and I have some really weird superstitions.
Come on, tell us a few of them then.
Well, no, like my signing on thing is I always think the first should be last and the last should be first. So if I sign on last, I'm always going to be
fair enough.
Doing well. Getting into the car in a certain order, I have to put my you've got the old lucky underpants and socks thing. I've got that one as well. And then I have to put my clothes on in a certain order, in a certain way. And then when I get in the car, I have to do it in a certain way. And then put my helmet on and my gloves on and plug my radio in and steering wheel on.
You sort of left hand first, then right hand? Or?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. And if someone comes in and plugs my radio in before I've finished doing something, like, it's all got to come off and start again.
Last to sign, good omen.
Matt, 6 in practice. How do you feel about that?
Well, disappointment is a word that comes to mind. I braked a bit too late going into Surtees and overshot the Sterling and overshot the apex and came out and just couldn't get the power down quick enough because I was running out of road.
Go something to do that distance.
Fourth aim,
Well done, mate. Anyway, good stuff.
I'm annoyed because I made a couple of little mistakes which could have maybe made that bit of a difference, but I'm really pleased because now first 2 rows we're starting on, for the sprint race, and if you're on the first 2 rows, anybody can have a crack into the first corner, so that's good.
Good company, yeah. Hey, what are you still doing here? Come on, your pass has expired. I'll have that back, thank you. Go on, shove off. We've got to have a serious talk about how this guy can get on the podium tomorrow.